anti-gay groups say homosexual TSA staffers are secretly getting turned on by pat-downs. We know this. We already speculated this was probably going to happen. We've even said it. Overly aggressive homosexuals, that means lesbians too, homosexuals and pedophiles line up to be employed by the TSA, because now you'll be able to legally, as they put, and I put that in quotes, legally be able to get your jollies by touching lots of people, including children. And yeah, many TSA agents probably can't stand it, probably hate it. They're probably indignified. They're probably, turned off by it just as much as you are. But there are going to be some who are going to put a smile on their face and say, yeah, baby. Now, quite frankly, I'm sorry, I don't want to be groped by a gay guy or a straight woman. I don't care how hot anybody may think that either one of them are. And especially by somebody who can potentially be getting their thrills and jollies off of doing it. It's not my idea of fun. The damage, the psychological damage this is going to do to people. Think about it, kids. What went through the mind of that little 7 or 8 year old boy? First of all, he's always been taught from the day that he could first remember, is if somebody touches you in your private place, don't let them touch you there, for one, and two, run and tell an adult, especially an adult in a uniform with a badge. Now, an adult with a uniform with a badge is doing the dirty touching, while parents stand on and watch. What's that kid to think? You want to talk about some confusion? And I'm serious. I'm not being facetious about this at all. We teach our children to tell an adult, and if you can't find your parent or aunt or uncle or something, relative, then you tell a person, an adult, who's in a uniform with a badge, like a policeman. And now here he is standing in line in the middle of the airport with tons of people watching on, his father standing behind him, watching a man in a unit that looks like a cop uniform with a badge on, touching him all over. And everybody telling him, good boy, that's okay. Poor kid. We're screwing up our kids. Make no mistake about it. We really are. All right, let's move on to a topic that's a little bit less weighty and heavy. Joe Miller. Joe Miller files suit over Senate count. The crux of Miller's case, write-in votes for Murkowski must spell her name precisely to pass muster, is what he's saying. He's saying if they counted too many votes in Murkowski's supposed win, they counted too many votes that had her name misspelled. Now, I've always said that this was a race for Miller to lose, and he did. The vote should have never been that close for Murkowski to even, have a chance. But now that he did screw it up in such a way, I would have to agree with him. You're going to have to spell her name right. And why? Because they sent out a list. Because there were some 120 or some ridiculous number of write-in candidates. Her name was on a list. Her name was all over the newspaper. If you couldn't spell it, and this was a write-in, if you couldn't spell it, all you had to do was either look it up or ask. And I guess there was a candidate whose name was not Murkowski, but it began with an M, and it was close or similar to Murkowski. So if you misspelled the name, how do they know that you're not spelling it for the other, lame brain candidate or for Murkowski? I'm afraid I have to agree with Miller on this one. They're going to need to be able to spell the name correctly, precisely, and exactly in order for it to count. If I was a judge, that's the way I'd have to rule for it. Well, you know what? Considering that, this could be the name of anybody, if it's not spelled Lisa Murkowski exactly as Lisa Murkowski spells it and has submitted it to be spelled, then cannot be allowed for her. Now, Miller filed his suit 2 weeks ago, but a federal judge said Friday that Miller should file his case in state court instead. So that's where it's going. So, we may not really know what's going on with the Miller Murkowski case for another week or two. But, we all expected that it was going to take we'd probably go into the first, possibly the second week of December before we fully knew what was happening in the Alaska senatorial race. New York Daily News. It seems that a robber turned himself in, a would-be robber turned himself in. But he turned himself in because he did a bad thing. He robbed a pizza shop owner, not of his money, but of his dough. A mugger approached a pizza shop owner who left after closing his pizza shop for the night. He approached the pizza shop owner and demanded that the pizza shop owner hand over the bag of dough, thinking that it was money. Now, the pizza shop owner, being stupid as he is, even resisted and ended up being shot in both legs. The robber got away with a bag of dough, but not cash. It was pizza dough. And so now Salvatore La Rosa, the 25-year-old, wasn't laughing very much when he surrendered to the federal authorities last week, to be charged with what authorities would say have been otherwise a well-planned stick-up. See, La Rosa and an unidentified accomplice allegedly followed the owners of Brothers Pizzeria. They followed him home. They put on a mask and confronted the victim at gunpoint in the driveway. Now, according to a complaint unsealed Monday in Brooklyn federal court, the assailants demanded one of the shopkeepers hand over a bag, thinking it contained the day's proceeds. Now, the bag that was stolen contained pizza dough. Now, even though it wasn't cash, the robbery victim resisted and was shot twice in the legs. Now, that was just dumb. I mean, I would just give him the damn bag and just be cracking up after they left. Nobody. Even though they can plan this thing out, even though it was probably very well planned, masks and catching him at the right time and everything, most criminals really are stupid. They really are. I don't see. It's what can you say about it? These people are just criminals. They're usually just idiots. Really are.
The Department of Homeland Security is 5 years old. What do we know? Well, we've always known. Terrorists want to hijack American democracy. If you see something, say something. More than 100,000 Americans, you, are potential terrorists already. Let's you and me spread the word. Trust no one. Friends, neighbors, even the kid with Down syndrome that works at your local Arby's. Join the fight, or else.
Department of Homeland Security, or else.
347-426-3404 is the number. Retrained for green jobs. Where are all the green jobs? This is from the Washington Post. After losing his way in the old economy, Lawrence Anton tried to assure his place in the new one by signing up for green jobs training earlier this year at his local community college. Yeah, y'all can already guess where this is going. Now, Anton has been out of work since 2008, 2 years now, when his job as a surveyor vanished with Florida's once sizzling housing market. After a futile search, wonder how long his search lasted. At age 56, he reluctantly returned to school to learn the kind of job skills the Obama administration is wagering will soon fuel an employment boom. Solar installation, sustainable landscape design, recycling, and green demolition. Now, I got to ask. I once owned a landscaping company. I did landscape design, landscape maintenance, I built landscapes. Not on a humongous scale, but, on a small office and private home scale. Even got an award for one of my designs. Question is, what the heck is sustainable landscape design? I mean, landscape, it's all supposed to be all about the natural products anyway. The trees, the flowers, the grass, the other plants, the shrubbery, the rocks, the dirt. What do they mean sustainable? Anton said that the class is funded with a $2.9 million federal grant to Ocala's workforce development organization that taught him a lot. He's learned how to apply Ohm's law, that's O-H-M law, how to solder tiny components on circuit boards, and how to disassemble rather than demolishing a building. Wait. Are you telling me he went to a community college to learn how to pull nails out of a building? He went to college to learn how to solder circuit boards. Well, hell, he could have did that for free, but just by going to work for some companies that do that all the time, and not necessarily for solar panels. The only problem, and it would have saved the taxpayer, at least a good portion of that $2.9 million in federal grant. The only problem is that the new skills have not resulted in a single job offer. Officials who run Ocala's Green Jobs training program say the same is true for 3/4 of their first 100 graduates. So in other words, 100 people have gone through this training, and about, maybe if they're lucky, maximum 25 have gotten jobs. Well, yeah, there's a boom going on, folks. There's a green job boom. I think I have put in 200 applications in Anton, who exhausted his unemployment benefits months ago and now relies on food stamps and his dwindling savings to survive. In other words, get any kind of job, then you don't. Oh, no, I'm a surveyor. Oh, no, wait, no, I went to school to be a green jobs kind of guy. Well, why don't you combine the two? I don't know much about surveying, and I don't know much about this, obviously, about being a green jobs person, although I think you can just use plain common sense. Why not combine the two and form your own company? Why do I got to think of all this stuff? So you can become some sort of green surveyor, helping companies become more helping them become more and more, green. Somebody in the chat room says, sorry, Rod, none of these last names really sound like the others in the M's. Just can't agree. I don't know if they sounded like. I haven't seen the Alaskan list. I guess the full list was like 120-something odd names long, from what I was told. And that there was a person on there whose name was spelled similar, but whether it was pronounced the same or sound the same, I don't know how similar it is. I said, I haven't seen the list. I'm just going by what I was told. What I heard on the news. It was a Fox News report, actually, that first tipped me to this. And I don't know where you can find. Can you find the list anywhere? I don't know where you can find. I haven't even bothered to look. I just know that even if there is no other M person name on there, they should be able to spell the name correctly. Because I don't know. Maybe there's somebody in Alaska that does have a name similar to Murkowski, and you can write in anybody's name. It doesn't have to be somebody who's registered. So, I'm being front. I mean, I said I'd tell you, I didn't see the list.